السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله هيا على الصلاة هيا على الصلاة هيا على الفلاح هيا على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، ولا عاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم عبد الله ورسوله. أما بعد. All thanks and adorations be to the Almighty Allah, who in His infinite mercy has given us another opportunity to be here. We thank Him for His mercies that He's bestowed upon us. We bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except the Almighty Allah. We also bear witness that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His servant and His messenger. Today is the 26th day of Rajab, 1444 years after the hijrah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It also corresponds with the 17th day of February 2023. The past couple of days has been, very traumatic and trial for humanity with respect to what happened in Turkey and Syria a couple of days ago. And it's one of the ways that the Almighty Allah keeps reminding us of Himself. Some people went to bed before that day having their own plans for the next day, but it all turned into something else. I've received some calls and some questions from some brothers who were like, Sheikh, why is bad things happening to good people? These Turkish and then these Syrians are Muslims. Why is the Almighty Allah, if the Almighty Allah is good, why is He sending these trials and tribulations and troubles and fitna on these Muslims? They are Muslims. I think we need to correct the notion that if you say you are a Muslim, that is it, you and the Almighty Allah are done. No. The Almighty Allah says in Surah Al-Ankabut, Alif Lam Mim, Ahasiba an-nasu an yutraku an yaqulu amanna wa hum la yuftanun. وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. أَحَسِبَ النَّاسِ, do people think أَنْ يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ, that the fact that they say we are believers, we are Muslims, we are mu'min, and yuftanun, that the Almighty Allah is not going to try them, is not going to test them. وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. The Almighty Allah said, I tried and tested those who came before them. فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا. This is the way the Almighty Allah makes it plain and evidently clear those who really believe in the Almighty Allah. وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. It's the same way the Almighty Allah exposes those who are liars. Trials and tribulations are the garnishing with which the food of life is eaten. And some trials befall some people in a good way. Some people are tested with wealth. And some people are tested with poverty and sickness. When you understand this as a Muslim, it gives you some peace of mind. So anytime you are being faced with trials and problems and calamities and situations and conditions that are unfavorable, your heart and mind is at peace, because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ajaban li amri al-mu'min, inna amrahu kullahu lahu khayr. In asabathu sarra shakara fakana khayran lah, wa in asabathu darra sabara fakana khayran lah, wa laysa dhalika li ahadin illa al-mu'min." He said, astonishing and amazing is the situation or the character of the mu'min, the believer. Every issue of the believer is positive and good for him. If goodness befalls him, he thanks the Almighty Allah, and that is a sign of goodness for him. If calamity befalls him, he is patient, and then he returns back to the Almighty Allah, and that is good for him, and then you will not find anybody with that character except the Muslim or the mu'min. The Almighty Allah tells us in the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَيْهِمْ صَلَوَاتٌ مِّن رَّبِّهِمْ وَرَحْمَةٌ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُهْتَدُونَ. It's like the Almighty Allah is making us a promise. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ, surely I am going to test you with fear, with hunger, with loss of lives, with loss of properties, with losses. But then, Bashir al-Sabirin, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, give glad tidings to those who are patient. الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ, those people when calamities befall them, قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. They say, we are from Allah, and back to Allah we are going to return. And then look at how the Almighty Allah describes these people. People when calamities befall them and they are patient. People when situations and conditions are not favorable, but then they are patient. The Almighty Allah describes them. He said, أُولَٰئِكَ, see those people, عَلَيْهِمْ صَلَوَاتٌ مِّن رَّبِّهِمْ, mercies are going to descend from the Almighty Allah upon them, and rahmah and mercies, salawat, blessings and mercies. And then he said, وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُهْتَدُونَ, those people are the really guided ones. You might be in this masjid and then you face all forms of trials and tribulations. It's not because the Almighty Allah is annoyed with you or is angry with you. No. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in the hadith of Anas bin Malik, إِنَّ عِظَمَ الْجَزَاءِ مَا عِظَمِ الْبَلَاءِ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ إِذَا أَحَبَّ قَوْمًا ابْتَلَاهُمْ فَمَنْ رَضِيَ فَلَهُ الرِّضَى وَمَنْ سَخِطَ فَلَهُ السُّخْطُ. That the magnitude of the reward is in proportion with the magnitude of the test and in the trial.
I always say this, nobody goes through secondary school or high school and they are giving PhD certificate. It doesn't happen. You need to go through PhD courses to get a PhD certificate. So in the Idam al-Jaza, the magnitude of the reward is in proportion with the magnitude of what? Of the test and then the trial that you go through. And the Prophet said, Inna Allah idha ahabba qawman. If the Almighty Allah loves a group of people, ibtalahum. He tries them. He tests them. فَمَنْ رَضِيَ فَلَهُ الرِّضَى. If you accept what the Almighty Allah sends to you, then you get the acceptance of the Almighty Allah. But then, when you are annoyed and furious, then it is something else altogether. If you go to Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 83, the Almighty Allah says, وَأَيُّوبَ إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ أَنِّي مَسَّنِيَ الضُّرُّ وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. Look at Ayyub, a prophet of the Almighty Allah, with vast amount of wealth and riches. And then the Almighty Allah tests him. His money, all gone. His health, gone. His wife and kids, all gone. He was left with only one woman, one wife. He went bankrupt overnight. He lost his health. He was sick for 17 good years. He couldn't go anywhere. One day his wife asked him, Ya Ayyub, why don't you pray to the Almighty Allah to give you health? You are a prophet of the Almighty Allah. And you prophets, the Almighty Allah has granted you mustajab. If you do dua, the Almighty Allah is going to listen to you. And then he asked her, how many years have we been living in prosperity and peace and enjoyment? She said 70 years. And then he asked her, how many years have we been living in this pain and this trial, in this tribulation? She said 17 years. He told her, when I measured these 2 years, for 70 years I was enjoying and I didn't ask the Almighty Allah to give me any trial. And then for 17 years I'm being tested. I don't think I have the moral right to ask the Almighty Allah to give me health. Wait, when we go through trial for 70 years, then I believe we have the moral right to now ask Allah to give us health. Ayyub, a prophet of the Almighty Allah. It is narrated, he said, Ya Allah, try me in my body with whatever you want, but then don't let this sickness touch my lips, because I want to be able to continue to say La ilaha illallah. So you might be here with us in the masjid. You might be terminally ill. You might be afflicted with all kinds of illness. You might be afflicted with all kinds of diseases. The doctors are saying there is no hope for you. They give you 2 weeks to 3 weeks. At most, you're going to live for the next 3 months. You're going to die. I give you the story of Ayyub. I give you the example of Ayyub. Don't lose hope of getting mercy from the Almighty Allah. The next person is Yunus. You go 4 verses down, verse 87. وَظَنُّونِ إِذْ ذَهَبَ مُغَاضِبًا فَظَنَّ أَن لَّن نَّقْدِرَ عَلَيْهِ فَنَادَى فِي الظُّلُمَاتِ أَن لَّا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنْتَ سُبْحَانَكَ إِنِّي كُنتُ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Yunus was sent to do da'wah. You know the story. Eventually, he had to run away to leave the people because they didn't accept Islam. So he was escaping from the punishment of the Almighty Allah. Unknowingly, when he left, these people all accepted Islam. And then he was thrown into the sea. You know the story is very long. In the depth of the sea, a whale swallowed him. He was in this situation whereby there is no hope. That how is he going to escape? Because he is in the belly of the whale, deep there in the depth of the ocean. Where is he going to escape to? Where is the door that is going to open up for him to get some routes or some routes to escape? You might be here in the masjid with problems all over you. In your home, there is problem. At your workplace, there is problem. Wherever you go, there is situation and condition. It's like a shadow or a cloud of problems is hanging over your head. Whatever you touch is going to get destroyed. Whatever you do, there is no success in there. You are in serious calamities. I give you Yunus. And then the third person وزكريا إذ نادى ربه رب لا تذرني فردا وأنت خير الوارثين. The sisters that you are listening to us, you may have been married for years, but there are no kids. Even you here in the masjid, the male, you are also married, but then there are no kids. Yes, it is a condition that some people go through. He might be the best of people. He comes to the masjid all the time. He prays all the time. You do nafilah all the time. You do sadaqah all the time. You help people, but then you don't have kids of your own. You've been to the hospital. The doctors have measured you. They've tested you. They've done every form of test, MRI, everything, CT scans. They've checked everything in you, but then still, there are no kids. Zakaria alayhi salatu wasalam and his wife Hannah, very old people, 2 old people. And Hannah one day was walking and then she saw a bird feeding her little ones birds. Just, picking some grain and then putting it in their beak. And this old woman felt the thirst of also giving birth. And Zakaria also goes to Maryam, and then he finds Maryam with food, which is out of season. If it is not apple season, he finds apple with her. If it is not mango season, he finds mango with her. And then he asks her, Anna laki hada, where did you get this? And then she said, Innahu min indillah, it's from Allah, it's the Almighty Allah who sends this. So Zakaria was like, if this young girl is able to go to the Almighty Allah for Almighty Allah to give her her rizq, when it is not even in season, and I am a prophet of the Almighty Allah, then I need to go back to the Almighty Allah and ask the Almighty Allah to grant me a successor. The next verse is very profound because the Almighty Allah said, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ وَأَصْلَحْنَا لَهُ زَوْجًا. The Almighty Allah didn't say, وَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ. The Almighty Allah didn't say, ثُمَّ اسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ. The Almighty Allah said, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ. Those of you who have studied the Arabic language know there's a difference between ثُمَّ اسْتَجَبْنَا, وَاسْتَجَبْنَا, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا. Fa'ud used here, the fa used here means he requested the prayer and then instantly his prayer was answered. He said, وَأَصْلَحْنَا لَهُ زَوْجًا. And then we repaired his wife. It's like there was an overhauling of the engine. Her womb was taken out and then a fresh womb was put in there for the old woman to be able to conceive. My brothers and sisters that you're listening to us, the Almighty Allah does His things the way He wants. He goes about His businesses the way He wants. فَعَالٌ لِمَا يُرِيدُ لَا يُسْأَلْ أَمَّا يَفْعَلْ وَهُمْ يُسْأَلُونَ. He is not questioning on what He does, but He's going to question us on what we do. But then the issue is, how do we react to some of these trials and tribulations from the Almighty Allah? Look at Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. After many years of not having a child, he gets a child and the Almighty Allah tells him, slaughter this boy for me. Look at Musa and Bani Israel. In Surah Al-Shu'ara, فَلَمَّا تَرَاءَ الْجَمْعَانِ قَالَ أَصْحَابُ مُوسَى إِنَّا لَمُدْرَكُونَ. After escaping from Fir'aun, and then they were moving, they got to the Red Sea. The Red Sea, if it is in front of them, there are no boats for them to cross, and then Fir'aun is coming with a 60,000 army, coming to destroy them. The sea is in front of them, the enemy is behind them, there is no route for them to escape. So the people were like, فَلَمَّا تَرَاءَ الْجَمْعَانِ. When the two groups saw each other, the people of Musa are looking at the people of Fir'aun. قَالَ أَصْحَابُ مُوسَى إِنَّا لَمُدْرَكُونَ. They started complaining. Musa, we were living peaceful with Fir'aun, even though we were slaves. Now you've come out of your own strong-headedness, stubbornness. You brought us out here. Now we are in the wilderness. There is no escape for us. And then Fir'aun is coming. Look at the army he's coming with, the tankers he's coming with, the machine guns, and then the missile is coming with. He's coming to destroy us. Kalla inna rabbi ya rabbi. No, my Almighty is with me. Almighty Allah is with me. Innahu sayahdini. He's going to guide me. This is the attitude of the Muslim in the face of trials and tribulations. That it doesn't matter whether it is someone who conspired against you. It doesn't matter whether it is someone who is committing all these evil machinations against you. Kalla inna ma'i ya Rabbi. The Almighty Allah is with us. قُلْ لَنْ يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا. Nothing is going to befall us except what the Almighty Allah has decreed for us. هُوَ مَوْلَانَا. He is the one who is going to take care of us. وعنده مفاتيح الغيب لا يعلمها إلا هو ويعلم ما في البر والبحر وما تسقط من ورقة إلا يعلمها ولا حبة في ظلمات الأرض ولا رطب ولا يابس إلا في كتاب مبين. There is nothing that goes on the surface of the earth except it's by the will of the Almighty Allah. There is nothing that happens except the Almighty Allah decrees it. Not even a leaf will fall from a tree except it's by the decree of the Almighty Allah. Nothing happens in this dunya except by the will of the Almighty Allah. Ya Muslim, believe in this. This is the core of our aqidah. Yes, somebody might be somewhere, pushing some buttons, pulling some strings behind to hurt you. Yes, it's possible. I'm not denying that. But then that thing will not happen if the Almighty Allah doesn't will it. وَمَا هُمْ بِضَارِّينَ بِهِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. They will never be able to hurt you in this dunya except what the Almighty Allah wills. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told Ibn Abbas, Ya gulam, inni u'allimuka kalimatin ihfadhillaha yahfadhak. ihfadhillaha tajidu tajahak. لو أن الناس اجتمعوا على أن ينفعوك بشيء لن ينفعوك بشيء إلا ما قد كتبه الله لك. Oh boy, listen. Put the Almighty Allah first in your affairs. He's going to protect you and guide you. Be mindful of the laws of the Almighty Allah. He's going to be with you. If the whole world were to come together and discuss you and say they are going to give you any benefit, they will never be able to benefit you with anything except what the Almighty Allah has decreed for you. And if they come together, let the people of Philadelphia, let the people of Pennsylvania come and sit on the same table and discuss you that they want to throw you out of the state of Pennsylvania. They will never be able to do it if the Almighty Allah hasn't willed it. He said, رُفِعَتِ الْأَقْلَامِ. The pens have been lifted. وَجَفَّتِ الصُّحُفِ. The pages are dry. إِنَّمَا الْأَمْرُ بِالْقَدْرِ. Everything you see in this dunya is by the will of the Almighty Allah. يَا صَاحِبَ الْهَمِّ إِنَّ الْهَمَّ مُنْفَجِرٌ أَبْشِرْ بِخَيْرٍ فَإِنَّ الْفَارِجَ اللَّهُ. الْيَأْسُ أَحْيَانًا يَقْطَعُ بِصَاحِبِهِ لَا تَيْأَسَنَّ فَإِنَّ الصَّانِعَ اللَّهُ. إِذَا بُلِيتَ فَثِقْ بِهِ وَارْضَ بِهِ إِنَّ الَّذِي يَكْشِفُ الْبَلْوَى هُوَ اللَّهُ. الله يحدث بعد العسر ميسرة لا تجز عنا فإن الصانع الله. والله ما لك غير الله من أحد فحسبك الله في كل لك الله. Where are you, my brother, who is in trial and tribulation? Some of us are having a difficult time with our families. Some of us are having a difficult time with our jobs. Some of us are having a difficult time with our health. Some of us are having a difficult time with our finances. Some of us are having a difficult time even with our own stability, our mindset. لا تعجزن, لا تجزعن. Don't ever lose hope. Don't be despaired. فإن الصانع الله. The Almighty Allah is the creator, He is the director, He is the provider, He is the cherisher, He is the mover of affairs, He is the distinguisher. He does everything that He wants. الله يحدث بعد العسر ميسرة. Don't worry. After difficulty, there's ease. Inna ma'al usr yusr. Inna ma'al usr yusr. The Almighty Allah repeated this twice in the same surah, right after each other. He's telling you that no matter how tough things go, if you return back to the Almighty Allah, He's going to give you a way out. إِذَا بُلِيتَ فَثِقْ بِهِ وَارْضَ بِهِ. Wallahi, if you are tested, وَثِقْ بِهِ. Trust in the Almighty Allah. وَارْضَ بِهِ. Embrace His decree. In the end, he said, Wallahi, مَا لَكَ غَيْرُ اللَّهِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ. You don't have anybody else apart from the Almighty Allah. فَحَسْبُكَ اللَّهِ. The Almighty Allah is enough for you. فِي كُلٍّ لَكَ اللَّهُ. In everything, Wallahi, you have the Almighty Allah. أقول ما تسمعون واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم عبد الله ورسوله أما بعد. We are speaking about trials and tribulations, and we gave examples of some prophets that went through serious trials and tribulations. The greatest of them also went through trials and tribulations. If you go to Surah Al-Tawbah verse 40, إِلَّا تَنْصُرُوهُ فَقَدْ نَصَرَهُ اللَّهُ إِذْ أَخْرَجَهُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا ثَانِيَ اثْنَيْنِ إِذْ هُمَا فِي الْغَارِ إِذْ يَقُولُ لِصَاحِبِهِ لَا تَحْزَنْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَنَا فأنزل الله سكينته عليه وأيده بجنود لم تروها وجعل كلمة الذين كفروا السفلى وكلمة الله هي العليا والله عزيز حكيم. You know the story of the Hijrah. Abu Jahl and his thugs were preparing to kill the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They had devised a plan that let's find a strong, able-bodied young man in all the tribes in Mecca, and let's give all of them a brand new sword, and let all of them enter into Muhammad one time and then strike him dead, so that his blood will be spread amongst the tribes, and Banu Hashim or Banu Abdul Muttalib will not be able to come and hold us accountable because they cannot fight all of us. And they knew he will leave his home by Fajr. They knew. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam calls Ali and says, Ya Ali, atanamu fi firashi al-yawm. Ali, will you sleep on my bed today? Ali said, Nafsi laka fida ya Rasulullah. He said, I sacrifice my life for you, ya Rasulullah. And Ali ibn Abi Talib knew at that time, that day, that anybody who is going to sleep on the bed of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a dead person. He knew very well. And then he had to sacrifice his life for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is why the Almighty Allah said, رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ. Allah. These guys were willing to die for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Almighty Allah could have sent Jibril to come and blow away Abu Jahl and his Zabaniya. The Almighty Allah could have turned the people of Taif into grains one time. The Almighty Allah could have pushed the mountains of Makkah. Those of you who have been to Hajj, you know how mountainous Makkah is. The Almighty Allah could have just pushed the mountains and then grind these people and crush them. But then the Almighty Allah made the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam go through all these trials and tribulations so that you and I, when we come later, will learn a lesson and will be patient. Why are we not patient? Why are we not accepting the decree of the Almighty Allah? Look at the Battle of Badr. 313 men against an army of 1,000 in the heat of the Arabian desert in Ramadan on a Friday. Some of them were holding clubs and sticks. They didn't have any armor on them. Some of them were only wearing leather socks, not even shoes to protect themselves. But then they went out there to die so that you and I today will come and have Islam free of charge. The question I ask myself all the time is that after the Sahaba went through all these things, when we meet on the day of Qiyamah, and then we explain to them the kind of Islam that we practice, will they be pleased? Al-Khabbab ibn al-Arad came and met the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam lying in the shade of the Kaaba with a blanket. And the Khabbab said, Ya Rasulullah, the trials and tribulations are too much. Ya Rasulullah, why don't you pray so that the Almighty Allah will bring us ease and peace? And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam sat up and then he said, Ya Khabbab, be patient. This deen will reach where you have not reached. But then there are people who came before you. They were being tried and tested in their deen. They will not leave their deen until they bring a saw that is being used to cut wood and place on the head of one of them. Leave your religion. He says no. And then he's cut into two and then the both bodies fall apart. But today you and I have Islam free of charge. How are we practicing Islam? Do you think the test that we are going through now
can be compared to the test that those people went through. The Prophet Muhammad left his home. Abu Jahl and the Zabaniya slept. When they woke up, the Prophet was already gone with Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu. They found Ali. They asked him, where is Muhammad? He said, he's long gone. Then they gave the communication. Anybody who finds Muhammad dead or alive is going to be given 100 camels or 1,000 camels. Then the poor guys who didn't have anything started to look to kill Muhammad to get those camels. You know very well if someone is wanted in the neighborhood and they say they are going to give you 1,000 Ferraris. You know, all of us will take off the mimbar and then go looking for the person so that we get that money. The Prophet Muhammad was looking forward, straight forward. Abu Bakr was behind him, trying to clear the trucks that they were leaving behind. Abu Bakr was concerned about the safety of the Prophet Muhammad. Sometimes he would run ahead a couple of meters or feet to check what is happening. If anybody is coming from the front side, if there is nobody, he runs behind. Sometimes he goes to the left, sometimes he goes to the right. Why? Because he is concerned. But the Prophet Muhammad faced forward. That's it. No turning back. No looking left, no looking right. Until they got to Ghar al-Thawr. The story is a long one. Abu Bakr Siddiq, they got to the Ghar. They were hiding in the cave. And then Abu Jahl and his Zabaniya came. And Abu Bakr Siddiq was saying, Ya Rasulullah, if one of them was to dismount from his horse and then just peep into the cave, he's going to find us. And the Prophet Muhammad turned and told him, Ya Abu Bakr, ma baluka birajulayn Allahu thalithuhuma. What do you know about two men that the Almighty Allah is the third person with them? My brothers and sisters, we are all being tested. We are all being tried. But then, the Almighty Allah is with us. Understand that. Accept that. Let that, give you peace and tranquility. Let that quench the fire in your heart. It's not easy. Some of us are having troubling spouses. Some of us are having difficult kids. Some of us are having difficult jobs. Some of us are not even having jobs. Some of us are sick. We are all going through one kind of trial and the other. But then, لا تحزن إن الله معنا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا إنك جامع الناس ليوم لا ريب فيه إن الله لا يخلف الميعاد. اللهم أنت أمرتنا بدعائك ووعدتنا بالإجابة قد دعوناك كما أمرتنا فاستجب لنا كما وعدتنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداء الدين وانصر إخواننا المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم من أرادنا وأراد الإسلام بسوء فرد كيده عليه. اللهم من أرادنا وأراد الإسلام بسوء فرد كيده عليه. سبحانك وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله.